Okay, let me introduce here on NewsTrack Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow of ORF, Strategic Affairs Expert, who's joining us on this broadcast. Sushant Sareen, good evening. Thank you for your time. You know, the fact that there is a clear Pak army link to these terrorists isn't something new. We're talking about right now Hashim Musa, who carried out the Pahalgam attack, being an ex-commando of the Pakistan Army Para Forces. But he's not the only one, is he, Sushant? Tahabor Rana was someone who was part of the Pakistan Army as a doctor. You had Major Iqbal, a key plotter of the 26/11 attacks. Was an ISI officer. You had Rahman Pasha, again 26/11 Pak Army officer, Sajid Mir, a Pak Army officer. So that list is long, and it clearly shows the direct link between these terrorists and how they were trained very, very well by the Pakistan Army.
Yeah, Akshita, that list is very, very long because there was this dreaded terrorist called Ilyas Kashmiri. He also had served in the Pakistan Army one point in time, and there have been others who were then involved with the Al-Qaeda who had Pakistan Army links. And in fact, even the attacks which took place in Pakistan at one point of time, when their naval base in Karachi was attacked, had a Pakistan Army link. So Pakistan Army and its flirtation with terrorism, in which very often what has happened is that while the Pakistan Army was trying to control the terrorists, a lot of their own officials also got turned by the terrorists and actually made common cause with the terrorists. So this has been happening for the last almost 30 years now. Again, it should not surprise us also because when the Jammu attacks happened, given the way those attacks had taken place, there has been a lot of analysis of who were the people behind those Jammu attacks, whether it was in Riyasi, whether it was in other places. And the conclusion that was being reached is that the way the ambushes had been mounted, the way these guys disappeared, the kind of discipline they showed in firing, meant that these were regular soldiers. These are not TRF guys. Mostly the TRF fellows have been, local Kashmiri guys who are fronting for the Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Pakistan Army, regulars, irregulars, ex-soldiers who come in. The TRF guys work mostly like, agents or guides and stuff like that. Their own actions have been mostly limited to killing unarmed, civilians, somebody who's working in the field, somebody who is a tour operator, somebody who's sitting in a shop, somebody who's a construction worker. So these TRF goons feel that, they are showing a lot of masculinity and jazba-e-jihad by going and killing unarmed people. But the real horrific killings have inevitably been carried out by the Pakistanis, especially the Punjabi Muslims who are recruited by the Pakistan Army, because let's face it, the Pakistan Army also does not trust the Kashmiri. If you hear what the Punjabis in Pakistan, especially from the Lashkar-e-Taiba, and I've seen this myself, or the Pakistan Army, the words which they use, I can't use on your channel simply because, then I'll get doxed and cancelled. But they use extremely derogatory words for the Kashmiris. So I don't think they trust the Kashmiris completely, which is why they have to send in their own people.
Look at what the Pakistan Army chief said on April 16th, days after which you had the Pahalgam terror attack. So right now there's all of this buzz, Sushant, that in light of Pakistan being extremely scared that there'll be retaliation from India, that there's a possibility they'll get rid of Hashim Musa as the Pak Army chief to kind of, make India, assuage India's concerns. Do you see that happening, that Hashim Musa will be shown the door, almost as if an indication by the Pakistan administration that, look, we'll keep India happy and we won't expect any sort of retaliation or strike?
I don't think immediately that's going to happen. I think if maybe, some kind of action is taken by India and then things hot up a hell of a lot between the two countries, and then there is a lot of pressure on Pakistan, perhaps at that point of time, the Pakistan Army might, ask the chief to step down. As of now, I think this is partly wishful thinking and partly speculation. I don't see an easy, path to remove the Pakistan Army chief at this point in time, especially because the ISI and all the other fellows have been drumming up support. And one of the reasons for this particular attack was that the moment it leads to a kind of Indo-Pak standoff, the Pakistan army, whose name is mud, whose popularity has reached a nadir, nobody likes them. People joke about them. People lampoon them. People mock them. Their stock has suddenly risen in Pakistan, and this was one of the objectives for this attack. That the Pakistan army wanted to raise its profile, rally the country behind it, because whether it was Sindh, where they were being abused for their plans to green the deserts and make Sindh into a desert, in which Bilawal Bhutto and his father were totally backing the Pakistan army until they realized that their own political ground will go. In Balochistan, the army's name is mud. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Pashtuns say that the entire terrorism in that province is because of the Pakistan army. So that is the reputation the Pakistan army has. But suddenly you see over the last week or so, you see how the stock of Pakistan army has started rising, how the media has been trying to drum up support for the Pakistan army. So I think as of now, to expect that Asim Munir will be asked to quit, I don't think that will happen. And even more importantly, do you think India will be satisfied just with the head of Asim Munir? I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Of course not. There's no question of India really settling down just because of Asim Munir being pushed aside. But there is a revolt that Pakistan and the Pakistan army is staring at right now, which Sushant Sareen, you also spoke about the fact that, there is a growing anger and a sentiment against the Pakistan army that they're trying very, very hard to combat right now. Thank you very much, Sushant Sareen, for joining us.